In a small town nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, lived a young man named Ethan. Ethan was known for his kind heart and gentle spirit, but life had not been kind to him. He had faced anger and frustration, loneliness and rejection, and it seemed like the world was against him. Ethan's days were filled with a sense of emptiness. He worked at a local bookstore, a job he once loved but now found monotonous. His friends had moved away and his family was distant, both physically and emotionally. Every evening, he would sit by the window of his small apartment, watching the world go by, feeling more isolated with each passing day. One particularly stormy night, as the rain pounded against his window, Ethan felt a surge of anger and frustration. "Why is this happening to me?" he shouted into the empty room. His voice echoed back, a stark reminder of his solitude. He sank to the floor, tears mixing with the rain on the window pane. In his despair, Ethan remembered the words of his grandmother, who had always told him to have faith, no matter how dark things seemed. "Sometimes, divine intervention comes when you least expect it," she would say. Clinging to those words, Ethan closed his eyes and whispered a prayer, asking for a sign, any sign, that things would get better. The next morning, the storm had passed, leaving the town bathed in a soft, golden light. Ethan felt a strange sense of calm as he walked to the bookstore. As he opened the door, he noticed a flyer on the bulletin board, "Community Garden Project Volunteers Needed." Something about it caught his eye, and he decided to give it a try. At the garden, Ethan met people from all walks of life, each with their own stories of struggle and hope. There was Maria, a single mother trying to make ends meet, James, an elderly man who had lost his wife, and Lily, a teenager battling anxiety. Together they worked the soil, planted seeds, and watched their efforts blossom into a beautiful garden. Know you've been a good friend. Through this project, Ethan found a sense of purpose and belonging. The garden became a sanctuary, a place where he could channel his anger and frustration into something positive. The loneliness and rejection he had felt began to fade as he formed deep connections with his fellow volunteers. They became his family, supporting each other through thick and thin. One evening, as the sun set over the garden, Ethan looked around at his new friends and felt a warmth in his heart. He realized that divine intervention had indeed come, not as a miraculous event, but through the simple act of reaching out and connecting with others. The garden had brought them together, and in doing so, had given them all a renewed sense of hope and faith. Ethan's journey was far from over, but he now faced the future with a sense of optimism and determination. He had learned that even in the darkest times, there is always a light waiting to guide you, and that with faith, hope, and the support of a loving community, anything is possible.